My name is Cristina. I'm a second year at UVA and I'm studying biology. I'm hoping to be pre-med.
I'm Olivia and I am a first-year PhD student in the history department.
I sort of have my own outside opinion about what fundamentalism is, but what do you mean when you say that you grew up fundamentalist?
I didn't actually grow up fundamentalist per se, but the school I went to definitely was. I guess it was sort of a cross between evangelical and fundamentalist. It was like a very intellectually challenging school, but the underpinning of it was conservative Christian.
Okay, gotcha.
Have you found a faith community here?
When I first came to UVA, I think I felt like I was in a good enough spot on my own and I didn't really need anything. So originally I was just going to find a church and not participate in a fellowship. And then the person who would become my small group leader last year, she reached out to me and we just started talking, and she's absolutely phenomenal. So it has been really great being here.
I mentioned in my bio that I spent a summer living in a Catholic worker house. Essentially, it's like a community of people of faith living, in this case, under the poverty line in Christian community, and living in common with people experiencing homelessness or people experiencing severe poverty. And this one was in Kansas City. And I think that experience made poverty and people experiencing homelessness things that I tend to think about a lot. And that's where my politics kind of starts.
Maybe this is an unpopular point of view, but I don't think I'm fully formed yet in terms of my political view. And a small part of me hopes that I never will be, because, again, that means that you're sort of stuck to this point. And I think oftentimes people see that as unchanging, and I never want to have that mentality. It's always interesting, I think, for me to talk to people about it, because I've noticed that with my friends that are very, very liberal, I'm viewed as conservative, but then for my friends that are very, very conservative, they tend to view me a little bit more as more liberal or independent.
In what ways do you feel misunderstood by people, or what assumptions people make about you?
I take a lot of pride in my Puerto Rican identity. It's always been very insulting to me that because I am a minority, my family is at a great disadvantage, and I come from a background that's maybe has a little bit less opportunity and maybe less wealth. And I always thought, my parents worked their butts off. They did a really good job, and they provided me with every possible opportunity. But what about you? Because you grew up and were pretty different background compared to a lot of people I know at UVA.
There's just so many assumptions about, you're from Arkansas and you're from the mountains and your parents are so young. All of these things about how did you even end up here? This must be so different for you. Wow, you're being exposed to culture. Okay, on the one hand, there is a nugget of truth in some of that. On the other hand, the corporate headquarters of Walmart are 5 miles from where I grew up. That is the center of globalization in America and commerce. I identify a lot more with where I came from, and also think much more about the way that place and community shapes who you are and your connection to ideas, but also people. I just feel like I learned a lot from hearing you talk about your background and why you're passionate about the things that you're passionate about. I think we share a lot of similar backgrounds and experiences.
I was just excited to sit down with you because I was hoping that it would make me more open to a lot of the same things that my friends say. Because I would say some of the things you said you believe in are things that some of my friends believe in that I haven't fully gotten into yet. So I was really happy about that.